Good day to everyone. I am Rachel L. Tiamson, and I will be reporting today about leader as an individual. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, I will introduce what is leadership, and I will explain what makes a good leader, how to lead a team to success, leadership versus management, and leadership development. Leadership can often be equal parts high confidence and self esteem, and worrying if you're doing it right while continually searching for answers. Whether you're a leader in an organizational setting or have high influence in some other capacity, improving your leadership begins with a focus on improving what you are already good at. So, in its simplest form, leadership is influencing other people to follow. Therefore, anyone who can influence people to follow them has leadership qualities. Leadership happens at all levels within organizations and society, not just among those who work in defined leadership positions. Leadership means different things to different people, different cultures, and in different situations. But it's always multifaceted role. Effective leadership enables followers to succeed. It sets direction, builds a vision, and adapts as circumstances require. Leadership is about mapping out where you need to go to win as a team or an organization. It is dynamic, exciting, and inspiring. The word leader can evoke a variety of images. For example, a political leader pursuing a passionate personal cause, an explorer striking out into the wilderness, an executive developing strategy to achieve organizational goals. Opinions differ on who can and should lead. Indeed, in some organizations, it may be the leaders in supervisory positions who can have the biggest influence. After all, supervisors are closest to the work of team members and to the needs of the customer. Sometimes individuals are expected to fulfill leadership roles among their peers. Leadership is no longer regarded as a solitary activity. Distributed leadership, a model which originated in education, is an increasingly popular leadership approach, not least because many organizations today are simply too large and complex for any one leader to direct alone. So, why is leadership important? All organizations need good leadership. Well led organizations tend to be more productive, competitive, and responsive to change. Their employees have a clearer vision of where they are headed and why, and are therefore more engaged and motivated. Organizations that excel at developing leaders tend to achieve higher long term profitability. What makes a good leader? An effective leader is a person who does the following. They create a vision of the future. A vision is a realistic, convincing, and attractive depiction of where you want to be in the future. Vision provides direction, makes priorities clear, and provides markers for success. Leaders hold in their mind their vision while understanding the reality of the present. They then embody that vision in everything they do and find ways of connecting it to employee performance to make it reality. Leaders consider how their industry is likely to evolve and how their competitors are likely to behave. They look at how they can innovate successfully and shape their businesses and their strategies to succeed in future marketplaces. And they test their visions with stakeholders and by assessing key risks using techniques such as scenario analysis. Leaders must also work well with the team. Leaders cannot achieve their vision without others' people contribution. It's a leader's ability to motivate and collaborate with people that helps them to deliver that vision. As such, much of effective leadership relies on people skills. Leaders need to understand and respect the people on their team as individuals and to know how to bring out the best in them as they work together. Awareness of team dynamics will help here. Effective leaders recognize and consider the needs and views of their followers at all levels. Those leaders who pay close attention to how people feel about their work and what motivates them personally can take proactive, appropriate steps to aid engagement and retention. Leaders must also enable success. Enthusiasm can run high at the start of a new project, but it's down to leaders to guide their team toward the finish line and equip them with the right tools to get there. People need goals and measures that are directly linked to the vision. Restating the vision in terms of its impact and taking frequent opportunities to communicate this and its relevant objectives in an attractive and engaging way can embed things further. Leaders need to ensure that the work required to deliver results is properly managed either by themselves or by delegating to a dedicated manager or team of managers. They'll also equip team members with the necessary skills and abilities to do their jobs and achieve the vision. They do this by giving and receiving feedback regularly, by training and coaching people, and by encouraging collaboration and skill sharing across the organization. Leaders must also be flexible. They need to be adaptable, learning how and when to adjust focus and embracing the change themselves. So there are actually 6 key components to lead others to success. Number 1, understand what makes your people tick. One of the greatest assets of any business walks out of the door every night. What are you doing to get them to return the next day energized, enthusiastic, and motivated to be the best that they can be and consistently operating at their peak? The starting point of leading others to success is about having a fundamental understanding of how we are wired as humans and what makes us tick. Motivation is a personal choice, and your role as a leader is to clearly understand what the driving forces and motivational triggers are of your people. When you know this, you can ignite them, the self-motivation, desire, and the will. Number 2, communication. One of the keys to creating a motivational and energizing environment for your people is to understand clearly their personal goals, and how work can be one of the vehicles in order to help them achieve these goals. The moment you help create and bridge in their mind the link between their personal goals and business goals, self self-motivation kicks in. Number 3, pick your performance tools. As a leader of others, you have a number of tools available for growing, developing, and unlocking the potential in your people. The key to success is knowing when to use each tool depending on where your people are at. Is it attitude, skills, or knowledge, or combination of all three? Next is number 4, manage and lead through performance. Manage and lead through performance can conjure up both positive and negative meanings in people's minds, and performance management perhaps are two words that fall into this camp. For the leader who leads others, performance management is a culture and a way of being when building and leading their high performance team. But to do this, you must first take stock of your people. Number 5, we need to use inspirational and developmental feedback. How many leaders can hand on heart say that their people have 100% clarity on how they are performing, what are they doing well, and what their developmental areas are? If they're being honest with themselves, I doubt many can. If you're on the fence with how would fare, your benchmark should be the end of year appraisal with your team members. You see, the end of your appraisal should hold no surprises and should be the easiest review of the year. And lastly, but not the least, coach to success. Leaders who get the most out of their team spend a high proportion of their time and energy coaching their people. But what is coaching? Put simply, it is questioning, listening, silence. The key to being a world-class coach is not knowing when to be silent. It is knowing when to break the silence. Coaching is all about developing the thinking capability of your people. So give them the time to think before you interject with your answer, opinion, comment, and follow-up question. One of the single most competitive advantages for businesses today is their ability to grow, nurture, and develop leadership and management capability faster than the competition. Future business success depends on it. The main difference between leaders and managers is that leaders have people to follow them while managers have people to work for them. A successful business owner needs to be both a strong leader and manager to get their team on board to follow them towards their vision of success. Leadership is about getting people to understand and believe in your vision and to work with you to achieve your goals, while managing is more about administering and making sure the day-to-day things are happening as they should. While there are many traits that make up a strong leader, some of the key characteristics are honesty and integrity. You know, this is crucial to get your people to believe you and buy into the journey you are taking them on. Vision, you need to know where you are, where you want to go, and enroll your team in charting a path for the future. Inspire your team to be all they can be by making sure they understand their role in the bigger picture. Do not be afraid to challenge the status quo. do things differently, and have the courage to think outside the box. Keep your team informed of the journey, where you are heading, and share any roadblocks you may encounter along the way. Leadership development is the process of enhancing the leadership abilities of any member of an organization. When focusing on leadership development, you develop the skill sets needed to perform roles in leadership positions. There is no one size fits all approach to leadership development. This is particularly true with leadership coaching, which is the most effective way to accelerate leadership performance. Leadership coaching is a tailored approach utilizing assessments, individual goals, and one on one relationships, which is a big part of its impact. Leadership development is meant to help leaders in a variety of roles, from individual contributors to C suite executives, better lead and improve leadership skills to meet new demands. Effective leaders are able to motivate not only people they formally lead, but engage peers and others over whom they lack any formal authority. Leadership development is more important because the leadership abilities of business leaders influence the outcome of employees' activities at every job level. Without the resources and skills needed to lead effectively, entire organizations struggle unnecessarily. Leadership is applied in many ways in large organizations. As a leader, you will eventually be expected to take on new leadership initiatives. Leadership development is meant to help prepare you for the wide range of demands and new challenges that can be placed upon you. Beyond the demands of taking on leadership roles, there are secondary benefits to leadership development. One of the more valuable benefits in the modern, dynamic, hard skills based workplace is employee retention. To be able to retain top talent is an important goal for a competitive company. The best employees want to stay in the same place for their entire careers. They will want to have a stronger positive impact and thus think about their future prospects. One of the main reasons companies are hesitant to engage in leadership development is the simple question of cost. Customer satisfaction ultimately leans on ROI after all. This concern may lead them to opt for small-scale leadership development or in some cases to forego the process entirely. The best leadership development programs understand this and actually work on making their services a good investment with clear ROI for the organizations they work with. What are the leadership development skills? Leadership skills are soft skills that are applied by great leaders in any leadership situation. Tied closely with communication and influence, the leadership aspect is about establishing yourself as the authority figure whom team members should look up to and defer to. Influencing skills are needed to influence others on your team to think alike and connect with your shared reality. Influence, by definition, is your ability to impact the thoughts and actions of others. Great influencers have the potential to become great leaders. Strategic thinking leads to the creation of a strategic plan. This, in turn, leads to better strategy execution. Strategy execution affects the day-to-day structures and systems in organization. So it should be no surprise that the strategic thinking is a key leadership ability. Actually, applying strategic thinking in a practical way in dynamic organizations is a skill and responsibility which must be enhanced when developing leaders. The art of delegation is one where even good leaders can struggle. Delegation as part of a leadership development is about delegating tasks in a way that puts the right people in the right places and motivates employees to perform as best they can. The demands of delegation in a company require leaders to know how to influence people, the ability to know what makes people think and how to talk to them, and if needed, challenge them is key to keeping a business running. Resilience. The importance of resilience is self-explanatory. Leaders must constantly learn how to better handle unexpected situations in the workplace. A lack of resilience in an organization's leadership harms relationship and the organization more broadly. So that is all for my report. I hope you learned a lot from it. Thank you and have a great day.